You will not believe the state of my quilting loft right now. You guys probably saw me last night get a little frustrated with my loft, and in the middle of cutting up a quilt, I decided to start moving furniture around. Nothing horrible because I don't have the space to really do that. But I do have some fun things coming to the loft and I need to make some room. And in the middle of cutting, of course, seemed like my focus pills have worn off by the evening time, and I was like, I just have to stop and do it right now. So here's what's gonna be happening. So this all started because my hubby made my mom a quilt ladder for Christmas, and I'm jealous and I want one. So he's going to build one for me right here. So I needed to scoot that down. It's butted up against that now. And then I did a whole lot of reorganizing of everything. So this actually took place over the period of like 3 different nights. So at night, my focus pills have worn off and I'm overwhelmed by fabric everywhere. I literally found fabric that I hadn't seen in 2 or 3 years because I'd lost it. And I asked my husband, hey, come up and help me focus. Maybe you can help me like reorganize things and see things in a different way than what I'm seeing them. And he decides to start cracking jokes about, oh, I guess hoarding fabric isn't that fun now. So he got sent back to his video games and I just carried on by myself. But here's what we ended up doing. So we're going to continue putting the fabric on the comic book boards and stacking them up because it's super easy to just grab them when I need them. And then backing fabric, I have some fleece here that's just folded up and easy to get to. And then I've put some more for upcoming quilts in this. And then I have a whole bunch of minky right there. This is gonna be my backing fabric. And the scraps are gonna stay organized by color, how they are. I got little labels. You can see this is my white and light gray. This is my pink and red, blue, and so on. So those are gonna stay. I just got them labeled is basically all. I put my hexie quilt down in here. So it's easy for me to just pull everything out and it's contained in one spot. These are some other little notions. These are all my threads and needles. So for this one, we've organized rulers and grids. These are all of my patterns and a couple of books that are there. And then I've shown you guys how I put my fat quarters in these. And I kind of group them by colors together so that they might go together in a project. It's not necessarily a project I'm working on, but when I get to it, I can use those fat quarters and maybe add in some other solids and they're kind of ready to go. And this is gonna be my Cotton Cuts mystery quilt basket. This is my Stashin' with Stephanie monthly subscription from Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm gonna put those quilts that are in progress in there. And then this last one is gonna be stuff that I'm working on that I need to shoot a video for. So I don't really wanna put it away yet. I'm gonna be working on it and I can have it right there and have it handy. So sometimes as quilters, we get really excited when we find a great sale on fabric or we find something that we love and we buy a whole bunch of it and we don't necessarily know what we're gonna do with it, but we need it, right? You saw me driving all over Creation trying to find a couple of fat quarters not that long ago. So sometimes we get a little itch and we have to scratch it, but then we come home with it and we don't know what to do with it. And we can sometimes forget where we put it. So in my organization, I have decided that I really need to be mindful that I organize upcoming projects and I don't just necessarily have them somewhere in a basket where I can't see it, I'm gonna forget it. So I have decided that I really need to get organized about what is upcoming and be intentional in the things that I am working on. So here's how I have decided to do that. So in this particular cube, this is my go-to. This is going to be my upcoming projects. So you can see they're literally stacked one on top of another. This one I actually started cutting, but like this is gonna be one project here. And then this is gonna be one project down here. This is gonna be one project down in there. Now this isn't to say that I'm only going to do one project at a time because it depends on the types of videos that I'm shooting. I have horrible lighting here in the loft. And so if I'm shooting a very detailed tutorial for you guys, I wanna make sure I have good lighting and I can explain it all for you guys. So I might have some other projects of my own that I'm working on, and then I might separate out something that I'm shooting a video on. And then the second drawer, these are all organized by Ziploc baggies. And these are remnants of other quilts or projects that I've worked on. So you can see a bunch of like gray and purple, and these are all triangles. And those all came from several months ago when my scrap boxes were just exploding, and I took them out one at a time by color, because my scraps are organized by color, and I weeded through them and sorted the scraps. So anything that was kind of long and thin, I cut into 2.5-inch wide strips. And those are here in this drawer. I probably have enough I could get a couple quilts out of, but anytime that I'm cutting and I end up with some strips, I cut them into 2.5 and I stick them in there. Anything that was smaller or odd shaped, I took that fabric aside and I'm using that in my hexie quilt. And that is all in here. So I keep all of the fabric for that as well as the hexies that I have started, they're all in there. But the other thing I found in my scraps were those little remnants that I showed you. So a lot of times I don't sew with a pattern. I just kind of cut stuff up and put it together and see how it goes. And I never know how many I'm going to need. And so I might just cut a whole bunch of triangles or a whole bunch of rectangles and just play with them and put them together however. And that's what that's from. And so by sorting them out, I found 17 or 18 little remnant projects that I can now work on. So maybe I'll turn those into baby blankets or do a giveaway with them or something. I don't know, but at least I'm getting organized.